Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Wednesday, July 5th, 2023, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ ORION-NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got MLB action tonight. Seattle Mariners, San Francisco Giants. We're going for the sweep. Game number 3, first pitch is just going to be here in just a few minutes. I hope everyone is having a fantastic Wednesday. And I had the stream all set up, and it wasn't actually recognizing, anybody hopping into the room. So I figured sometimes internally with some of the software, things need to be kind of rebooted. But I got it all set up, luckily, just in time. And we are going to get first pitch here. So I tried going live about 5 minutes ago. And it wasn't actually processing everything, but I got all the tag words in, got everything situated, and I'm ready to go. Hopefully everyone is having a fantastic day here on Hump Day in the middle of the week. Let's go, baby. Mike Ford, Brandon Crawford, I see you. Let's go over some of the starting lineups that we have before we get into first pitch. Leading off for the Mariners, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, right fielder, Teoscar Hernandez. Batting cleanup and batting fourth for Seattle, first baseman, Mike Ford. Batting fifth, DHing for Seattle, Eugenio Suarez. Batting sixth, left fielder, Jared Kelenic. Batting seventh, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting eighth, third baseman, Jose Caballero. Batting ninth, second baseman, Colton Wong. And on the mound for Seattle, Tommy Malone. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Come on, JP. JP on the 0-2 pitch. Got him. Wow. And then on the mound for the Giants, we have Alex Cobb. All right, Alex, I see you. Next up for the Mariners, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Ron. Elliot in the building. What's good? Let's go. How are you? Let's get to 100 in donos. What's good? Yeah, and like I said, I had everything kind of situated and set up, but it wasn't recognizing like anybody that was in the room or anything. So I figured I just dump that stream and then start a new one. So luckily I got all the tag words, and I think we're good to go here. Popped up, foul. Come on, Julio. And it is hot today. It's almost 100 degrees here, so I don't really know why I'm wearing the Julio jersey. It's definitely very, very hot, but I figured got to support and trying to be able to get this dub. We got a really good one there from Logan Gilbert on the 4th of July yesterday, and obviously we're just trying to be able to get this sweep. Pitches inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes, because we got the Astros coming up and then the All-Star game, so it's going to be very critical to be able to take advantage when Trout and Ohtani are a little banged up. Julio? Yes, there we go. Yes, sir. Let's go, baby. Awesome to be able to see Julio getting going early and often. My boy, J-Rod in the building. Starting to get hot right before the All-Star game. Ballin'. Let's go. Nice little bloop single there. Let's try to manufacture some runs. Next up for the Mariners, right fielder, Teoscar Hernandez. Let's go, Teo. Did it? My boy. Losing again, 8-7. That's tough. I'm just hoping that we can end up getting this dub. Cobb, throw to first, safe. And if we can end up getting the sweep, I mean, they're one of their best pitchers in Cobb, and we got Malone, who just got called up from AAA, and this is his second start. So we're definitely at a disadvantage. We're going to have to throw up probably 5 to 6 runs if we're going to end up winning this game today. But I do think that we have been getting hotter as of late. So I do think it is possible. Daniel's in the building. What's good? Nilly Philly in the building. Go M's. Let's go. And again, we got the Astros coming up after this and then the All-Star game. So 0-2 count. Teoscar behind in the count. But that did kind of scare me a little bit. Like anytime I end up doing a stream and then I don't see, the eyeball, with how many people are in the room, it didn't even come up. And that's happened to me before on this software. But I wish I would have maybe started a little sooner. Double play. Got him one, got him two. Damn it. Good defense by the Giants there. All right, well, I guess we're going to be going to the bottom of the first now. And we're going to get to see a little bit of Tommy Milone. And hopefully, I don't really know what to expect, with Tommy. It's a guy that never really pitches for us. And then we're going against, arguably one of their best pitchers in Alex Cobb. And I've done Cobb a couple times when they played the Dodgers. So I've seen him. And so we definitely are not favored tonight. But I think, we've been kind of on a heater. We're on a 5-game win streak. We beat the Rays, 2 out of 3. And we won 2, obviously, here, and we're going to be trying to make it 3. But I don't know. We know how hard it is to be able to sweep in Major League Baseball, but you never know. You never know. Let's go over the lineups here for the Giants. Leading off for San Francisco, left fielder Austin Slater. Batting second for the Giants, DHing tonight for San Francisco, Wilmer Flores. And batting third, typically leading off, but hitting in the 3-hole today, first baseman Lamont Wade Jr. Let's go, baby. I'm ready to go. I did see that. Well, obviously, Soto, was, obviously had that interview. He's like, oh, you better watch out. And Ohtani, obviously, before he got the blister, he got roughed up a little bit. But I think Soto went 0 for 3? 0 for 3 or 0 for 4. Obviously didn't have that good of a night. You can't really be talking about Ohtani. It's one thing to be able to talk and be confident, but it's not like, the team has been really playing good. You can always stir up the pot. But, I mean, at this point, if it's not like Machado or Tatis, like, why are we even talking? But, again, it brings a little extra drama, to it. But I hope that, you guys end up turning things around. Yeah. Hater. Yeah. And trust me, I know how that goes. John's in the building. What's good? All right. Come on, Tommy. Let's go, baby. Tacoma Rainiers. The Rainiers. And we ended up calling up. This is only his second start. I had a hard time finding photos. No lie. You know what I mean? I went even to start to look at Tacoma Rainier photos for AAA because I have photos of him like, on the Blue Jays and all these other fucking teams, but there's no quality photos for the Mariners. It literally took me 15 minutes to be able to find these two, and these were the two best that I could find, and they're good. But I was like, I didn't want to throw up a photo of him on the fucking Blue Jays or anything like that. I was like, I got to be able to find at least one or two, and sometimes you got to use different tag words to have them come up. Not something simple as Tommy Milone Mariners, and then you hit enter and you assume you're going to find it. But at least I got it there. So Bogarts and Cronenworth. Ooh, nice. That's the kind of surprising. Let's go, baby. Go Cardinals, go Rays, go Mariners. Let's go, baby. Bottom of the first, 0-0 Mariners and the Giants. We are a big underdog today with Tommy Milone on the mound, but I do have confidence that maybe, the bats can come alive and can carry Tommy, just like the bats came alive to carry Logan Gilbert, who arguably is our worst pitcher in the starting rotation. He played great yesterday. So I'll take it. It was a good boost for the confidence, a complete game, the first in his career. And, he's had a rough year. And then at the end of the game, after, 4th of July started to kind of get wrapped up, after the games before the fireworks, then they decided to announce Julio and George Kirby are replacements. Julio, I knew was a given, automatic, that he was going to be a fill-in for Yordan Alvarez. But I didn't know about Kirby. I thought it was kind of 50-50. Just walked him. Milone with a walk on the first at-bat. That's not good. But I thought with Bryce Miller didn't get hurt with the issue with his finger and his hand, when he had to go out. I thought Bryce Miller, even though he hasn't played a full season, he was better, but he's injured, so we'll never know. But at some point, I do think we're going to get Bryce Miller in an All-Star game, in a year, 2 years, 3 years, maybe even as soon as next year. But I'm really happy for George because him and Miller are my two favorite pitchers on the team. And it's nice to be able to see, like, the league recognize George Kirby as one of the best pitchers in the American League and overall. He's like 7-7, so the record doesn't necessarily reflect on how good he is. But if you actually look at his stuff, most of those losses that Kirby had is just lack of run support. And anyone that watches baseball knows what that's about. It's either pitchers are good, hitting is ass, or the hitting is really good, or the pitchers are ass, or the mid relievers or the closers are ass. So very hard to be able to have all facets of the game be good. Hitting, starting pitching, mid relievers, and closers, unless you're sitting like the Rangers, the Rays, or the Braves, right? So it is what it is. Let's go, baby. Come on, baby. Let's go. Bottom of the first. 2-1 count. Come on, Malone. We can't have you walk every single fucking guy on this roster. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. So we had Austin Slater walk. Now we're on a 3-2 pitch. Fouled off. Complete game shutout for Logan Gilbert yesterday. It's like 100 fucking degrees here in Oregon. Why the hell am I wearing a jersey? And I don't even have AC in the studio in here. I have a big ass box fan on me. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm not miserable or anything. I got to be able to show my support. Foul back. And it seems like a lot of the streams lately, when they end up being Mariners, they end up being kind of fucked up and like choppy. Like, I don't know what they need to do on here to get shit going, but they did the Giants broadcast yesterday, and it was much smoother than the Mariner broadcast that actually went out around the 6th or 7th inning a couple days ago. So this is the last game of the series, and we're going to be playing Houston, and then we're going to be starting at 5:00 Pacific time. So yeah, it's usually about an hour and a half earlier than normal, but it all depends on who we're playing and if we're on the West Coast, if we're on the Midwest, or if we're on the East Coast. So a lot of times when they play on the East Coast, they have them, maybe like 3 my time, and sometimes I can't end up, doing the game. But once I move and I transition, I'll be able to do streams at any time of day, morning, afternoon, night. I might start to do a morning show, and then maybe I'll end up doing some some shorts or some uploads as we get closer and closer into like football season and whatnot. But I'll definitely be putting in as much time as I need, and I won't have to share the studio space in here, so I can do more work, even though I'm working pretty much 7 days a week. Popped up, 2 away. Next up for the Giants, Lamont Wade Jr. Well, for some of for some of links, either through MLB, through their package or through your cable provider or satellite, sometimes there's just issues either with audio or with sound. Now, obviously, when I had the Ziply, no issues with the Mariner stuff ever. Really, because obviously you got that strong connection, but just got to hope, and also with some of the baseball stuff, they usually don't have like more than one option. They usually just do like one, either the Mariner stream, or the Giant stream, not like on the NFL side where they'll do, either, the home or the away, depending on what you want to listen to. So All right, bottom of the first, 0-0. Runner at first, one away, 1-1 pitch. Yeah, we're on Central Time, so we're going to be streaming at like 5 instead of 6 Pacific Time. So big swing and a miss, 1-2 count. Really? Oh, that sucks. Yeah, and like I said, I just got to wait, until I get everything kind of situated, and then I won't have really any issues because I know the fam has got Comcast, and then obviously I'm going to try to get the Ziply, for myself to be able to either get 300, or the gig at that point. So once I end up trying to get the gig, then 300 is good enough. But again, sometimes it's not necessarily the internet. It could be actually the streaming platform, or the actual game itself. So $1 dono. Hey, every dollar counts. Popped up. Tail. There we go. End of the first inning. We're knotted up at 0. No. That's only 2 outs. Come on, guys. Let's go, baby. Let's go. $1. 99 to go. I appreciate you. Let me know what you want to see once we go to the commercial break, and I got you. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. $1 holla. 99 to go. Appreciate you. Let me know what you want. Cardinal wise, Hawkeye wise, Colts wise, you let me know. Ground ball, double play. No, just force out at second because there was already 2. There we go. Get Tommy out of that inning. End of the first inning, 0-0. Let's go. And I had to put Mike Ford on the thumb. He's been very, very hot as of late. I think he's got the best batting average from the team. He was at DH, and then we put him at first base for Ty France for a couple games, and he's been just killing it. So definitely had to grace him on the thumb for the very first time. Well deserved. Leading off for the Mariners in the top of the second inning, first baseman taking over for Ty France tonight, Mike Ford. Batting second, DHing for Seattle, Eugenio Suarez. And batting third, left fielder, Jarred Kelenic. Let's go, baby. I had to hit you with the Brandon Crawford on the thumb there. And then obviously on the mound for the Giants, Alex Cobb. And he's one of their better pitchers. So we're definitely at a disadvantage today with the lineup, but I still feel that we can win this game. Some Shaq Leonard. Hawkeyes, not hot guys, obviously. That'll be for Sarah. Sarah's a Colt fan, Iowa Hawkeye fan, and many, many other teams that she represents as well. Odin in the building. What's good? Wing bada 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 bada. He said hot guys. Birthday stats and MLB history. Quick stats yesterday. Mike Ford. Let's go, baby. Top of the second. First pitch right down the middle to Mike Ford. 0-1 count. How you doing, Odin? I hope you're doing well. Pitch is low. 1-1 count. Yeah, and I'll get you some Shaq Leonard here in just a moment. One, two count. Big swing and a miss. Struck him at. Damn it. Got you your Darius Leonard, and I'll get you another one once we go to commercial. Appreciate you for your donation and support to the channel. Next up, DHing for Seattle, Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, baby. Suarez chopped it to Crawford. 1 away, 2 away. Damn it. Come on, guys. Next up for Seattle, left fielder, Jared Kalanick. Let's go, Jared. Well, we got run support. You know what I mean? Kalanick with a nice base hit right towards left field. Nice job. At some point, he was due, and he's been really terrible. I think he might be our worst starter, but it's good for him to be able to have that momentum to get him back on track. So, if we didn't get the bats going early and often, yeah, that wouldn't have happened. So, it's a team effort, and it was really good to be able to see Logan Gilbert smile. That's like the first time I've seen him smile and be happy, like probably in about a month. So it's well-deserved for him. Goldstein in the building. What's good, brother? Oh, it's hot as shit here. We're gonna have 3 days of about 95 to 100, and this is the second day. So we got one more day of like 95 to 100, and then it's gonna go down to like 85 for maybe about 3, 4, 5 days. So yeah. So once the weather starts cooling down, I think Monday, that's when I'm gonna probably start to try to move some of like the toy collection and stuff over to the family's place and whatnot, and slowly get a few trips out there, with dad and maybe some clothes and whatnot, and then get some things moved around. Another base hit, nice. There we go. Back-to-back base hits. I like that. Nice job, Cal. And then once I end up doing that and get some shit moved around, then I can order the Ziply, and I assume it'll take a week or so for it to get installed. And then I can start getting that last. So the last thing I got to do, I got to move the couch and then the lazy boy and then my computer. But I don't want to move that shit until the Ziply is there, so that way I can just like move shit and get things situated. I don't really know how things are going to be situated in like like my old school bedroom from back when I was a kid. And whatnot, but I got a lot of there's like bookcases and like a bed with a big ass like wooden frame shit that I probably gonna have to take apart, because I'm gonna have to have the green screen, and I'm gonna have to have tables. So I don't know how that's all gonna work out, but once I get in there, things will be good to go, and I'll be situated before college football and NFL, and that's really my goal, is to try to get everything done before August 1st, so that way I can continue just being comfortable, and I don't want to miss any days. I'm going to keep trying to grind it out every day. So, all right, we're in the top of the second, 2 outs, runners at first and second. Next up, Jose Caballero. Come on, Jose. Nice stop there from the catcher by Bailey. 1-2 count. Come on, Jose. Don't fuck me over here. And then next up, I got Colton Wong, and that's a fire Colton Wong photo with the stunner shades. I had to switch it up. I was like, there's got to be another Colton Wong photo. That photo alone deserves a hit or two. He's looking fresh, Definitely can't hit worth or shit, but he's good at defense. Pitch is low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Low 70s. Yeah, I like low to mid 70s is good. Shit, I don't mind 80s either that much, but obviously 70s with a breeze is ideal. All right, I hope you feel better. Chop foul by Caballero. 2-2 count. Sewer pump. Oh, you're going to be getting grimy out there. 140 foot of conduit. Wow, you're going to be sweating. You're going to definitely have to visit, a store, dispensary, or get some beers after a day like that. My God. Chop foul, 2-2 count. And like I said, for me, normally I have two types of jobs before I did this full time. I was either doing phone sales, for big companies, and I did that for about, 15, 20 years, or that's like, white collar work, or I would be doing like the grimiest of the grimy of the blue collar warehouse work, multiple products. And the last one I was at, I was doing that saw stop when I was working, unloading the trailers and, loading the trailers, unloading the trailers, with all the product. Got him looking, struck him at. Damn it, we leave two stranded. And getting into a trailer last summer, when or not last summer, but the summer before that, getting in there, if it's 100 degrees in the trailer, it's like 120. If it's like 90 outside, it's probably like still like 110, 105. And you got to unload that trailer because the guy's got to go. So even with like 5 guys working nonstop in a 40-foot trailer with, items that weigh 5 pounds to 400, with some of the saws and saw accessories, I mean, you were just sweating and you couldn't really stop. I mean, they gave you like towels and rags to put on top of your head and whatnot. And you can, drink some Gatorade and they would provide stuff. But I mean, some of those things were so fucking heavy and, it's a nonstop process. 5 guys moving nonstop, 40-foot trailer, maybe an hour and a half to unload it. And sometimes we would do like 5 in a day, 6 in a day. So it made it pretty challenging. But I definitely have much respect for anyone that does white collar work, whether you're doing customer service or phone sales stuff, or working with people face to face or over the phone, or doing that grunt work, obviously with the blue collar work as well. So Sean's in the building. What's good? Absolutely. I do always, I'm always going to keep it real, regardless of, my teams, or if it's not my team, if you have to be critical, it doesn't matter if it's your team or not. And I'm always going to keep it 100. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah. I live here in Oregon and I've been a fan since the mid 80s. So obviously I always try to keep it a fresh perspective at whatnot with everything. How long you been a Mariner fan? So you don't live in Washington anymore, Sean? Where are you living now? We're in the Midwest, East Coast, Oregon. Where are you at? Yeah. And like I said, we're not really used to the hot weather here. Like I said, when it rains for the first time in a minute, people freak out. They drive all slow and they don't know how to handle the weather here either when it gets really hot. But I figured that's why I haven't been able to really get some things, going too. Plus with the family, knowing it is hot. And I know at that location, there's no AC there. So, but by the time I get there, there's only going to be another month of hot weather. So I probably don't have to really go out and buy one and worry about it. So we'll figure it out. All right, we're going to the bottom of the second inning. Let's go, Ems. Let's go, Tommy. We need you today. I know this is only your second start, and we're an underdog, but got to find a way. All right, next up for the Giants, catcher Patrick Bailey. 1-1 pitch, chop foul, 1-2 count. Oh, it's all good. Appreciate that anyone's here hanging out. 1-2 pitch, popped up. Julio, there we go. One away. And I know some people were bitching and complaining about Julio, getting into the All-Star game, whether he deserved it or not. And even me, myself, in the box, he's been obviously pressing. He's been definitely swinging at everything in the first 2 pitches. He's not working the count, but we also have to realize that even though the average and maybe the RBIs and home runs aren't where we want them to be, we also have to realize he's a great base stealer and he's a great defender. He's one of the best defenders in the outfield overall, not just in the American League. But he's kind of like a Ken Griffey Jr., where he can rob home runs. So we got to take the player in full extent. If we're just doing it based off average and home runs and ribbies, yeah, I agree with you. But, a lot of these people are forgetting how many stolen bases he has. Normally he's going to be at 20 or so at this point, and he's a good home run robber too. So popped up to Gelinek, 2 away. Quick at bat there, obviously, for Patrick Bailey, as well as the pop up out by Michael Conforto. Lines out to left, Kelenic 2 away. Next up, center fielder Luis Matos. Get Luis. Come on, baby. But I am excited for the All-Star game. Just wish I could end up going. all my two best buddies here in Oregon, Preston and Justin, are both going. But again, money has definitely been challenging. It's been tough. So even if I really wanted to go, probably wouldn't have been able to afford it anyways. So, Justin obviously got a mini package just so he could go. So it's like where you spend like $400 or $500, and then you spend that amount, and then they give you the pre-sale type stuff to the All-Star game. Same thing with Preston. I just didn't have the money to do it. But I will be live streaming the game here. And, like I said, it would have been an amazing dream come true to go, but they'll still bring me back something. So Montana. Oh, nice. The Gaylord Perry days. The Trident. Nice. Yeah, I've been watching since the mid-'80s. I met Griffey in '89, and that kind of changed me forever. So, which I would assume it would change most people. So Montana, huh? Nice. Yeah, I mean, Mariner fans are going to be everywhere. Alaska, Washington, Oregon, Montana, Idaho, parts of Vegas. There's quite a few, areas that are going to be repping the Mariners. That's for sure. Especially if you used to live in, the Seattle area or in the Washington area. I'm not surprised about Julio. Julio was going to get in because Yordan Alvarez was hurt, and you have to look at him as a complete player. I already knew he was getting in. He's like the face of baseball. You got to think, out of all the popular players that are in Major League Baseball right now, Julio's a top 10 popular player in Major League Baseball. You know what I mean? Last year, he was probably top 5. This year, he hasn't been as good hitting and with the average and the RBIs and the homers, but he's still, as far as being a face that brings good energy to the game. Again, he's going to always be one of the top 5, top 10 players until he retires. So the Kirby one was surprising. I don't think anyone anticipated that, but it's very cool for him to get the recognition. And I think if Bryce Miller didn't get hurt, even though he kind of came in the middle of the year, he was probably even more deserving than Kirby. But then he ended up, getting that injury with his finger. So even if they did vote him in, he wouldn't have been able to play, and Kirby would have got that spot anyways. So, yes, we do. I love it there, man. Like I said, regardless if, we only have 4 good seasons out of the last fucking 25, 30 years, regardless if we go, 162 or 62 and 100, we're still going to be passionate. And that's why I try to be able to represent the Mariners the right way. Here, there's not a lot of people that do Mariner coverage full time. There's people that do uploads. There's people that do little TikToks and, YouTube shorts. But as far as like calling games, there's not a whole lot of people that do it on a regular basis. Some, Mariner people will, they'll hop in there and do a couple, or maybe you'll get some Seahawks streamers that'll do a few here and there. Or if they do that, maybe it's like the playoffs, like the Mariners were in, and normally they stick to just football. They're going to, put their, obviously time and trying to take advantage of the market for the Major League Baseball and the Mariners. But, I got to be able to represent properly, and hopefully we can end up building. So, Dusk in the building. What's good? How are you, bro? All right, next up for the Mariners as we go to the top of the 3rd inning, and we haven't given up any runs, so that's a good sign right now for Tommy Milone. It's only his 2nd start, got called up from the Tacoma Rainiers. So the Rainiers, so you don't really have any expectations, and we're a huge underdog. But again, we're on a nice little win streak right now. We're 500, and we're 42-42. So there is a little light at the end of the tunnel. If we can just, find a way to win this game, win at least 1 or 2 against the Stros, if we can, go into the All-Star break and then see kind of what happens. All right, next up for the Mariners, second baseman Kolten Wong. Batting second in the top of the 3rd, shortstop J.P. Crawford. And batting third, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And again, Julio will more than likely be an all-star every year that he plays until he gets old. That's just the matter of the fact. He's going to always be one of the top 5, top 10 most popular players with Ohtani and Judge. And it's just a matter of him getting more comfortable with the pitchers and how they pitch him, being more patient in the box, not swinging at the first 2 pitches all the time. And instead of getting down 0-2 all the time, maybe get a 2-0 count, 2-2 count, 3-2 count, 3-0 count, 3-1 count. I mean, it's going to be in his benefit, and he'll learn as he gets older. But I am happy that he's there, even though it was an alternate. It's going to be good for the city of Seattle, and arguably he is our best player overall on the roster, and he probably will be for many years to come, even though we got a good pitching staff, and we could always argue, oh, this pitcher might be better, Miller, Castillo, Kirby, than him. But, overall, I mean, the fans want to see Julio. That's the bottom line. So for him to be in the home run derby and be in the game, it's not like he's going to play the whole game anyways. They rotate a lot of those guys in the All-Star game where they only play like an inning or two, sometimes very, very minimal. So we'll see where it goes. But I know Julio will get a little bit of time for obviously, being in front of the home crowd. And hopefully Julio can win the home run derby. Pete Alonso's going for the three-peat? So Alonso will probably be the favorite, but I'm hoping Julio can end up winning it in front of the home fans. That would be awesome. Or at least being Julio and Alonso in the final, because we already know those guys can rip it. You're doing great. That's good to hear. Why are you doing great? Oh, Cincy up big. There you go. There you go. All right. I hope you feel better. De La Cruz. Yeah, who doesn't like him? I already heard about him in in the AAA and whatnot. So I was like, I could already tell. I was like, oh, this guy's going to be a phenom. Popped up by Colton Wong, one away. And then obviously, barely getting into his career and already going for a cycle, within X amount of games. That's a big deal. Not a lot of guys can hit for the cycle and, play good defense and be fast out there, which we know he's extremely fast around the bags, around the bases and whatnot. It's just cool to be able to see guys emerge, out of single A, double A, triple A, or, you hear something, but sometimes the hype doesn't match when they get called up. But all the hype that we were hearing about him for a few weeks to a month before he came up was the real deal. And then you guys ended up going on a nice little win streak too. So I love seeing that. Top of the third, we're still knotted up at 0. Absolutely. Absolutely. JP Crawford. There we go. Go, JP. Go, JP. Go, JP. There we go. Stand up double by J.P. Crawford. High five for my boy. Let's go. Stand up double for JP. Nice job, JP. Next up for the Mariners, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Come on, baby. Time to get some runs. I mean, especially if we're in the third inning and Malone hasn't given up like 5 runs, we have a shot. Little blooper towards third base. 1 away, 2 away. Damn it. Come on, Julio. Patience, my man. Patience. Next up for the Mariners, right fielder, Teoscar Hernandez. Let's do it for Tommy Malone. Let's win this fucking game. Let's fucking sweep these Giants. And especially if we get swept by the Stros. We might only win 1 or get swept by them. So we need to try to win as many as possible before going into the break. Let's go, Teoscar. Takes a strike. Come on, baby. Yeah. Takes a ball. 1-1 count. Come on, Teoscar. Top of the third, 0-0. Nah. Damn it. Little chopper to second base. Leaving another runner stranded. Come on. We got to be able to help out Tommy Malone. I mean, at least we're getting some hits, but it's just we got to manufacture multiple hits in a row. But at least I am happy that we aren't down 2, 3, 4, 5 runs at this point. So, especially when you get a guy this is only his second start from the Tacoma Rainiers. So, it is what it is. All right, leading off for the Giants, shortstop, Brandon Crawford. Batting second, 0-for-0, base on ball, got walked in the first inning. Left fielder, Austin Slater. And batting third, 0-for-1, DHing for San Francisco, Wilmer Flores. Let's go, baby. All right, Brandon Crawford. Don't be thinking about doing anything crazy. Got to take advantage. Yeah, I mean, definitely. We just got to be able to see if these guys can keep it up long term. It's like Arise too. It's like you got to see these guys, batting 400, 380, 390, 402. Like, can we keep it up for a full season? And it looks like that's going to happen with Arise. And then, and then obviously with De La Cruz, it's just kind of nice to be able to see the kind of phenom come out of nowhere. And again, I mean, we may see something crazy like that. Yes. Yeah. Well, coming back from the injury, that we just had to see how he was going to look. Definitely a fan favorite. Lots of people like Bono. Yeah. And it was stupid for them to send him down. If anything, you would send other people down, keep him up, and then try to get replacements for some of your pitching staff. But there was no reason to send him down to AAA whatsoever. I know making roster space is one thing, but I mean, it's not like he was playing bad. But again, I mean, if you mismanage a team, I mean, like I'm used to it being a Blazer fan, and management is fucking terrible. They always make the wrong decisions. They don't, say what they're going to do. It's just tough. Like with this whole Damian Lillard thing coming up, I mean, I know he wants to play for the Heat. More than likely, that might be the only team he really wants to play for, but that doesn't mean that we're going to ship him there. I mean, does he deserve to go there? Yeah. I mean, he's been very loyal to us. We're not going to try to, dick him over. But again, we're not going to trade him for fucking Tyler Hero and, fucking like two like jobber players, or like average or above average players. I mean, come on. I mean, we got to be able to, get a little bit more talent than Duncan Robinson and fucking Tyler Hero and draft picks. Get the fuck out of here, And it's not like we're going to be able to get Jimmy or Bam because that's who he wants to play with. So we're going to have to probably make it a 3-team deal and try to be able to get other compensation where Hero and Duncan Robinson maybe go to another team and we swoop up the better players from that third team, whoever that third team is. So, Crawford just got to walk. Damn it. All right, Brandon. Brandon going to first base. All right, next up for the Giants, left fielder, Austin Slater. Come on, Tommy. I believe in you, bro. I know it's, this is a nice lefty in the lineup, too. Popped up. And I think that's kind of why we made some of the moves, too, getting rid of Flexen and Gott. Maybe we just need more lefties. We got a lot of righties, but adding some quality lefties definitely can help your ball club. If you're really heavy on one side, it usually doesn't work out unless you end up having really, really good, righties, which we do. Castillo, right? Not Gilbert anymore. Miller, Kirby. But I would like to have a nice lefty. We have Marco Gonzalez, but he's injured. So, and Robbie Ray, and he's injured. So lefties get injured a lot, I guess. Bottom of the third, 0-0, runner at first. Wilmer Flores in the box. Oh, 1 pitch from Malone. Chopper. Oh, my God. Jose Caballero at third base. And again, fucking up on defense. Why the hell do we even have him out there? I know he hasn't played third base. He doesn't play third base. That's Gino's spot, right? They moved around some of the positions. They have Colton Wong at second base, and then obviously have shortstop J.P. Crawford. But it's very clear Jose cannot fucking play defense at all. Period. I'm not sure if that necessarily was his fault. That was just kind of an awkward hit ball, but it just seems, and then it bounced on him, but it just seems like everywhere he's at, third base, shortstop, second base, this motherfucker can't play defense. He can hit. Can we just combine like Colton Wong and Jose Caballero together so I can get Colton Wong for the defense and Jose on the offense? Because it's like they're only one-sided players, and that sucks. All right, next up, Lamont Wade Jr. Fuck. Now we got runners on first and third. I don't want to lose, in a cheap way. If you're going to homer off fucking Tommy Malone, fine, but I don't want it to be a wild pitch or or just some bullshit walks, violations. I don't want to lose that way. Come on, Tommy. And I kind of, he's been putting a lot of stuff in play. He hasn't really been throwing stuff just right over the plate. So, and I can't get too mad, at Jose. Now, if this error or this play was at second base or shortstop, I probably would have just jumped out the window. But he, this is his first time playing third, so I gotta cut him some slack, a little bit. That's normally Gino's spot over there, but it shows you how hard it is really to be a great defender and how some guys can naturally move to any spot and do it, and other guys can't. Other guys can only play like one spot. Popped up. Julio's got that. 2 away. Tagged up. 1-0 Giants. Fuck. Sacrifice fly. Sacrifice fly for Lamont Wade Jr. Crawford scores. 1-0 Giants. Next up for the Giants, J.D. Davis. Davis popped up. That's easy. We got that. There we go. Julio running almost by Teoscar. Better communication out there, fellas. End of the third inning, 1-0 Giants. I can't get too mad. It's only 1-0 at this point. So, well, remember your team is not a good team. So at this point, it feels like the Cardinals are kind of like the Royals and the Nats and the A's, where you kind of just gave up. You know what I mean? Like you just accepted that you're bad and you're not trying to actually win games anymore. You know what I mean? Like sometimes the effort isn't there. Sometimes the players are just not good this year, like with the pitching staff. But it kind of feels like, for a majority that they're not really trying anymore, like almost accepted their fate. Like the Padres and the Mariners are bad, but we have a better record than you guys. So I feel there's a little bit more hope. So if we had the same record, or if we were playing like you guys, then maybe the Padres, Elliott's team, and my Mariners maybe would follow suit and be like, fuck it. Let's just, let's seal our fate. Let's just accept that we suck and we're not, you're out there and you're playing, but it's not motivated baseball a lot of time. And you do see that from kind of the bottom feeders in Major League Baseball this year. It sucks. But again, hopefully something good can come, from it next year. Yeah. Yeah, as long as you guys don't get desperate and do anything stupid like trade Goldschmidt or Arenado after just one bad year, hopefully you guys don't get desperate. Even if they offer the farm for this amazing pitching staff in return, for those guys, don't do it. You guys can, draft and pick up guys in free agency. You don't give up those 2 Hall of Famers, but we'll see what happens. I think most teams are in that boat that need pitching. And you ain't getting any of our Mariner players. That ain't happening. You ain't getting Kirby. You ain't getting Miller. And honestly, even if you guys would have offered us Goldschmidt or Arenado, I would say no. Like I said, the pitching staff is very important to us here. We thrive off of it. So yes, Goldschmidt and Arenado are Hall of Famers. I get it, but we already got certain bats. So it's like we need to. We can't just get bats and have no pitching. That's not going to equate to more wins. And so, yeah, we might be able to score more runs, but we're going to give up a hell of a lot more. All right, and top of the fourth, 1-0 Giants. And that shows you, like, and for me to say that too, for like to decline like an Arenado or Goldschmidt, normally I would say that never, because those guys are Hall of Famers and they're great. But, Castillo, Miller, Kirby, the rotation that we have, I mean, it's a special one. Don't want to break that up. Even losing one of those guys would be super detrimental because, like I said, Ray is out for the year. Marco's injured. Now we got fucking Miller injured temporarily. We got to be able to keep it strong. 1-2 pitch to Ford. High 2-2 count. No. Because if you guys get Ohtani and what you guys give up, strike three, he's out of there. Mike Ford. Yeah, because I feel there's a lot of teams that could get Ohtani, but it doesn't mean you're gonna win a World Series. Because it's gonna break up that roster too much, where you're not gonna be able to do it. I feel like if the Yankees, even though if they have Aaron Judge and all the people they have, I don't feel necessarily like automatically, they got Ohtani, they're winning the World Series. I don't think so. And I think that if you went to the Cardinals and a few of these other teams too, kind of the same boat. Like it's going to improve the team dramatically, pitching and hitting, but it doesn't necessarily equate to a for sure championship. Next up, DHing for Seattle, Eugenio Suarez. Please go back to third. Jose cannot play third base. Like even with the Mariners, if we had to give up some of our quality pitchers, yeah, it'd be exciting having Ohtani, but it doesn't make it like automatic World Series. There's only a couple places where I feel like it might be automatic. And even going to the Dodgers, I don't think it's necessarily automatic because a lot of their holes are the pitchers get hurt a lot, like Dustin May now out for the year, and their hitters on the bottom end of the lineup are not as good as previous years. I have this conversation with my dad. It's like you're kind of out of the World Series window now. You had it for 3 years. You got it done. Now the Braves are kind of the top dog. And you got teams like the Diamondbacks and a few others that are kind of creeping up. But I still think the Dodgers are going to be probably the number 2 or number 3 team as we go into the playoffs in the National League. But I just don't think that they have it. I think they have too many holes. So, but if Ohtani went to like the Braves, I don't think they would break up their team. But then that definitely, the Braves might win it this year. Another strikeout. Damn it, Gino. But again, we will see. But anytime you can get Ohtani, it's going to make a big difference. But also it depends on what happens to your team when you get Ohtani. Are you giving up players? Are you just signing him? You have the money to sign him, and we'll see where he goes. But I would assume staying in Los Angeles is going to be in one of his things that he's thinking, right? Even if Trout is minorly injured right now, 6 to 8 weeks, I think staying on the Angels and getting this insane contract and just playing with one team his whole career, even though I know World Series aspirations are on his mind, going to the Dodgers and Yankees would be better than going to the Angels and staying there, but how much money are you going to offer? And then the Padres will skyrocket the offer and they'll offer. And if he goes to the Padres, yeah, that'll definitely help them, but they still need to get the hitting to match the pitching. The pitching has been great as of late. The hitting is sometimes non-existent, which is crazy because when you got Machado, Tatis, and Soto, you would think you'd be awesome, but not the case. 1, 2, 3 inning there. Kelenic, damn. Ford, nothing. Gino, nothing. Kelenic, nothing. Come on, baby. I need to do it for Malone. Do it for Tommy. Well, at least we're only down 1-0, though. I like Marco, even though Marco at one point was our best pitcher, which is comical and laughable. And then normally he's bad and he's like our number 5, and he's very shaky, like 500 pitcher or under 500. Like that guy that's like 8-10, or a guy that's like 7-7. Nothing crazy. But this year, he was actually pretty good before he got hurt. He was like 4-1, 5-1, and essentially he was like maybe based off record, the best compared to Bryce Miller, who only had a couple losses at that time. So, but for the most part, if Marco can pitch well, it gives us a lefty that we can kind of count on. And normally we can't count on him, but he was surprisingly good for us before he got hurt. All right, we're going to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's only 1-0, so feeling good about that. Leading off in the bottom of the 4th, catcher Patrick Bailey. Batting second, right fielder Michael Conforto. And batting third, center fielder Luis Matos. Goats, where are you? Where are the goats? Padres got money too. They'll always hike up the price too. Like they tried getting a Aaron Judge, and they tried getting many, many pieces of talent and were unsuccessful. So, but I imagine Dodgers and Yankees are going to offer, and there is a good chance that he would go to one of those spots, and it would definitely increase their chances, to be able to win a World Series. I can visualize Ohtani on the Dodgers. I can't really visualize him on the Yankees, but maybe it is possible. Those teams got a lot of money. But I definitely can envision him in Dodger blue. But I just don't know what the team would look like after. Bailey with like a little bloop single there. Jelinek. Come on. Come on, Tommy. Hang tough, bro. Next up for the Giants, Michael Conforto. Bottom of the fourth, runner at first, 0-2 count. I mean, Malone hasn't really done too bad. It's not like he's been giving up a bunch of jacks. I got another photo there for you for Shaq Leonard, Darius Leonard. And hopefully we can get a few more people to come through to show some love. Your boy likes food. Your boy likes to be able to live. 1-2 pitch from Malone. Pitch is low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two pitch. No, into the crowd. Nice souvenir for that fan. Come on, Mariners. Conforto, former Beaver, Oregon State alum. Yeah, home run derby. Gosh, that'd be so cool to be there. Definitely try to getting because I mean, with my two buddies, they're not going to try to be able to get any foul balls or like home run balls and stuff, but to be out there and to be able to get like an all-star home run ball, hell, from anybody would be very thrilling. Because the energy out there, everyone's going for it, not just a couple people. When the ball goes out in the stands, like in a regular game, like the home run derby is all about getting home runs. So everyone's out there trying to get it. So it'd even be harder. There we go. 2 down, baby. I'll take that. Next up, center fielder Luis Matos. Pitches outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Chop foul. 1-1 count. 1 for 1 for Matos. Single in the second inning. Come on, Tommy. Come on, baby. 238 average, 1 homer, 4 ribbies for Matos in 2023. Pitch is high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Come on, Tommy. I even got 2 photos for you, bro. Come on, baby. Let's go. 2-1 pitch. Pitch is low. 3 balls, 1 strike. Don't walk them. Oh, wow. Yeah, that sucks. Julio's got to go against Pete Alonso in the first round. Who the fuck did that in the bracket? Oh, we just walked Matos. $1 in donos. Let's get to a hundo. 99 to go. Goats, where are you? Hello? Goats? We're having a meeting now at the mound with Cal Raleigh and Malone. Mookie's, yeah. So you already know more than likely Mookie's not going to beat Vlad unless Vlad is just swinging for the fences. And well, actually, I can't say that because when Mookie connects, when he gets into a rhythm, even though he's a shorter guy like an Altuve, he can get into like kind of a rhythm. So I guess it just depends on who's in the Uncle Mo, who's got the momentum and whatnot. But normally you would think Vlad Jr. would win that pretty easy. But there is a chance that Mookie can hang. But I think with Julio and Alonso, that could go either way, especially if Julio gets locked in, early. That's what we should have had for the final last year, Julio and Alonso, even if Alonso would have still won it. But if you look at the amount of home runs, just, you start off with like a big number. And sometimes when you get further along, you're tired. So you can't put up that huge performance. So you have to like steadily put up really good numbers, but for every round, and maybe you have one round that you blow up, but you have to have those other 2 rounds be like pretty significant. You can't have a drop off like when you end up getting, like let's say, 40 and then the next round 20. You have to be like consistently 30 something and then 30, 32 and then you have that 50 or something, and then it'll be exciting to see kind of how it plays out. I'd love for Julio to win. Right to Kelenic. There we go. All right, Tommy. End of the 4th inning, 1-0 Giants. And I'm really happy it's not 5-0 because I figured we might need 5 or 6 runs to win. Just didn't really know if he was going to give up a bunch of home run balls early or if he would get lucky and get a lot of ground outs and pop-ups. And I mean, shit, he hasn't even given up a homer. It's only his 2nd start ever, here for us. So, and got called up from the Tacoma Rainiers. So, but he was actually doing good in AAA, but sometimes doing good in AAA doesn't fucking matter when you go and play with the big boys. That is facts. All right, next up for the Mariners. Hopefully this will help us, get a little run going. Big dumper catcher Cal Raleigh, 1 for 1. Batting second in the lineup in the top of the 5th, 0 for 1 with a K. Can't play defense worth a shit, but can hit. Third baseman today, Jose Caballero. And batting third, 0 for 1, second baseman, Colton Wong. Come on, baby. I don't even need you to get a hit. Get hit by a pitch, but don't get hurt like last night, or get a walk. Whatever it takes, just don't swing. And if you can get on base, maybe that'll be the guy that actually scores for us. So I know that's kind of a silly thing to say sometimes in baseball, but if you get guys at the bottom end of the lineup and instead of swinging for the fences, but you kind of, just take your pitches, cheap, cheap runners on first with Caballero or Wong or JP. You got to take them sometimes instead of those 3 guys swinging for home runs, instead of singles. And then you end up getting wasted, 1 pitch at bats or 2 pitch at bats where you get a, take a strike, foul one back, and then maybe a pop up or a ground out. And like, that's it. Like, you don't want to be able to have like a 3 pitch inning. Logan Gilbert was lucky enough to have one of those yesterday. He got into a good rhythm. It's like 1 pitch, okay, out, 1 pitch out, 1 pitch out. And that's ideal. And that never happens to Logan Gilbert, and it did. And then it really sparked him and helped him get that complete game, the first in his career. Complete game shutout. And that's from our worst starting pitcher. So that's a good sign. I just been telling him, just trying to, smile out there, have fun, but it's easier said than done when you're in a rut. Cal? Oh, he dove for it. He dropped it. Yes. Go, Cal. Cal Raleigh 2 for 2 with a stand-up double, baby. Let's go. My boy, Cal Raleigh. That dumper is in effect. Extra big. Hawks, Mariners, Flames, and Trailblazers. Nice. Yeah, Mariners, Trailblazers, Ducks, because I live here in Oregon. And the only team for me is in the Kraken, and then Tampa Bay, just because when I was growing up, I was a Niner kid. I had a lot of love for Jerry Rice and Joe Montana, Steve Young, Dion in '94 when he was there. And I was about to, kind of make my team choice around 12 or 13 for life. But it's a big commitment. And then the Niners won 4 championships with Joe Montana. One was Stevie Young in '94, and I was 12. And I thought I'd be a kind of a bitch, kind of a bandwagon, like, oh, I'm just going to hop on these 5 championships. This is my team. But if I was going to choose them, it would have been for life. But I had this feeling that they weren't going to win ever again, or not for a long time. And they didn't really have defensive players besides Dion that I loved. They had Romanowski at one point, but, Ken Norton. But obviously, I enjoyed Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis later. Now, if those guys were around back when I was younger, hell, I probably would have been a Niner. And then Seahawks didn't have defensive players for me, and I'm a defensive guy. Now, if I was a regular guy, yeah, I would have been a Seahawk or a Niner, fan, something close by here. But I have certain personalities of players that I've kind of linked to, I'm drawn to. And in '95, I waited one more year, and Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks got drafted. I watched the Florida State and Miami, the U, and obviously the Florida Gators, a lot of SEC and ACC football back then, and I fell in love with those players, and knew when we got both of them that they could both be Hall of Fame. John Lynch was already there. That's my personality as well: hard hitting, decleating, a little bit of shit talk, but can back it up. And then Mike Allstott, and I was like, this is my team. I didn't have the Mike Allstott, John Lynch, Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks anywhere else really in the NFL, and so that was the reason why that in '95 I became a Buck fan instead of being a Niner fan or a Seahawk fan. But again, if Dion would have stayed in '94 and going into '95, if he didn't go to the Cowboys, maybe I would have been a Niner fan, because I mean Dion is one of my top 5, but Niner Dion. So. It was always like Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Barry Sanders, Bo Jackson, Dion. Those were like my 5. So, the electricity is going to be insane. He just can't put up like a 50 and then the next round put up a 24, because that's not going to be good enough. Even just doing 40-40 would be good, Yeah, I mean, everyone, obviously would love to, be able to have support. But anything, I need it more than anybody. But again, like I said, sometimes, hockey and basketball and baseball and NASCAR, it's not going to be for everyone. Not everyone is us. Not everyone is a fanatic that likes, 8 different things, that can keep us going with our mental health. And, football season ends, we're not depressed fully because we know we got these other things to look forward to. But there's people out there that only watch football, like either college or NFL or both, and that's it. And then they get kind of in a rut because there's nothing else for them to follow because they don't like wrestling or they don't like these other things. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously, we definitely need a little bit more mod support, and you never know really when you're going to get promoted and recommended on YouTube and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I know once we go into football season, we'll get a big spike because we'll have a brand new look and we'll have a scoreboard, and obviously it'll be good to be able to see those people, and hopefully we can get some growth, even though it's a very competitive field. Maybe we'll get a few raids and we'll figure things out. I mean, I'm always willing to do collabs as long as people keep their word. I don't mind, even if it's a smaller channel. I mean, if anything, it's just helping each other. But sometimes people, they don't want to do that. They think you're piggybacking off their established channel and their hard work. But people have to realize just because someone else has more subs or views or donos, that doesn't make them better than the person. You know what I mean? Based off their thumbnails or, who they are or their stats or their knowledge. It's one thing to be popular, and like I said, and be a popular streamer, but just because you're popular doesn't necessarily mean that you're better than other people that do the same type of thing. A lot of times it's just being able to get in front of the right type of eyes, and people can make a choice at that time, if they want to stick to that one streamer that they kind of hang on to, or if they watch multiple streamers. So popped up, 2 away. Yeah, but I've always been defense, and like I said, a lot of people, it's like even when we got Brady, I didn't go out and buy a fucking Brady jersey. You know what I'm saying? Like the only two Brady things I have for bucks I got as gifts. One from my dad. I got a Foco like $100 Brady collectible bauble, that's got a good base on it, still in the box when we won the Super Bowl. And then I got how they have the Bucko Bruce, where the old logo with the creamsicle had that pirate with his knife in his mouth. And they changed the face with Bucko Bruce with Brady's face, with Brady with the knife in his mouth with that little logo. And then Justin got that for me on a T-shirt. And I've never worn the T-shirt, so I have it as a collectible. But Gronk coming in, I have no Gronk or AB or Brady. It's like I'd rather draft guys, so that's why I like Devin White and Levante David. Like I like linebackers and safeties primarily; those are my favorite positions. But I have a lot of love for corners, DNs, D tackles, defense first. I love O-line. That's very underappreciated. And like I said, I still have the same love for quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, but I'm just not brainwashed by ESPN and the media when they shove that shit down your throat. Like we all know, it doesn't matter about the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight ends. They get the most popularity and love, right? Like some streamers, but who ends up winning the game? The people that do the dirty work, that work the hardest, and that's usually the O-line, D-line, defense, and the coaching staff. So even though those aren't the most popular, you have to have those to win championships. So just because someone is popular, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, or a popular streamer, doesn't mean that they're better than the O-line or the D-line or the defense or the coaching. You might get more love from people on the internet, but true diehards know you can't win without those others. Throw to first. Got him. Damn it, JP. And that's why I think I have that perspective that's different in sports, and I'm not biased, and I feel that you can put me up against anybody one-on-one, and I can definitely hold my own. And most people are offensive-minded people, offensive-minded perspective. I can kind of do both, where I can watch a game twice, and it's different. So I can watch it like everyone else does, 95% of America, where they watch the center, right? They call their protections. Boom, they hike the ball. You follow the ball. Quarterback, hands off to the running back. You watch the running back. Boom, he gets tackled. Boom, end of play. That's what you're watching, right? But I can watch it from like a defensive perspective or like an O-line perspective. So I'm watching them push and pull and obviously swim moves. I'm watching protections, who can pancake, and then I'm watching defensive guys, who's playing man-to-man, who's playing bump coverage. Is it cover 2, cover 3, nickel, dime, prevent? Like what, I can kind of look at it like Madden. And when you look at the game that way, it's like watching a whole nother game when you watch like the O-line first before watching the snap and where the ball goes, or watching it defensively first. Like I tell people, if ever try to watch a game and don't watch the offense, watch the defense first, and then move your eyes to the offense after the snap to see like how guys are moving their footwork and how they're being able to go to sideline, who's calling audibles. Can you see the leadership? Who's got a good secondary, who doesn't? So it's all about perspective. And I think that, like I said, most people, are offensive minded people. They buy the offensive jerseys. And then you get the others, the other 5% that are like Holly, Hundo, who like special teams and punters and kickers, which is the coolest thing ever. Still has a lot of love for, Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes like everyone else. But sometimes it's cool to give that extra love, to the position that doesn't get any credit, like a kicker or a punter, or for me, for O-line or defense. And so, it's nice to be able to showcase those to people like on social media, because I don't think enough people on this, obviously this channel does it, but I think other channels don't really have that same type of love and respect for the positions that don't really get the popularity or the love. Defense wins championships, baby. Unless they just don't show up like the Eagles last year, where they should have won the championship, but they didn't play like the Bucs or the Rams in the previous years. They want to say that the field was slippery. It was slippery for both. It was bad, right? But the Chiefs O-line was supposed to be the liability, and that ended up being the MVP of the Super Bowl. They don't even get talked about. They talk about Mahomes and everything else, but the O-line won the game for them. Hands down dominated. No sacks, no picks. Come on. But the narrative will always be Mahomes, Andy Reid, the enemy. The O-line doesn't get anything unless you come here and then we talk about it. 1-0 Giants, bottom of the 5th. We got a pitcher here. Was it Adcock? All right, come on, Ty. And hopefully he can get in there and he'll do something for us. And I don't ever want anyone to like change necessarily how they are. I mean, if you're a shit talker, you're a shit talker. If you're quiet, you're quiet. But everyone sees the game, I think, a little bit differently, especially for football, NFL and college football. Everyone thinks they're a fucking expert, right? but it just depends on how much reading and film and if you have a grasp of the game, or if you played and if you understand Madden, it's like kind of taking the game deeper. But that doesn't mean, like a man or a woman can't understand the concept, or a young person or an old person. You can get someone that comes in the channel and be fucking 13 years old and know more than guys that are 40, 50, 60, maybe because they play Madden or they played football or their dad taught them. So you never really can judge a book by its cover. Sometimes you're going to get younger people or older people that may surprise you a little bit, or a male or a female that maybe you didn't think that they knew that much and they did. So, but we know how it is. Everyone in their friend group, everyone thinks that, they're a fantasy football guru, and there's a lot of great people that play fantasy, and there's a lot of people that know football, but there's layers to it too. It's like baking a cake. Layers. Well, ESPN is absolutely horrible, so I don't only know what they're going to do, but if it was, I guess, me, and like I said, I'm not necessarily going to watch it, but if it was me, I would have probably tried to do Max Kellerman and Shannon together. I would have done that. That would have been a combo that would have worked, unless they have Shannon go on there and they pair him up with someone else, and go there. But, Pat McAfee will be there, and they're banking that that's going to change everything. But now they got a bunch of randos on there. But again, the ESPN, the reason why it's not good anymore is because back in the day when we had Stuart Scott and we had a lot of those epic guys that we really fell in love with, right? That was the only place where we could get highlights. Now you can get highlights in many, many places, and they don't have the same kind of personalities. So you had to go there to be able to watch the top 10 and get your highlights. You know what I mean? That's what made it fucking special. Now, Twitter, Instagram, Fox Sports, CBS, and they don't have the same type of guys like a Stuart Scott. Those guys are special. They're eternal. You can't replicate Stuart Scott, and you fucking never will. That's why in that particular time, ESPN was legendary, but it's no longer a legendary brand anymore. The only reason people watch it anymore is for like Monday Night Football, and that is it. Unless you're one of those suckers that likes watching the morning programming, and that's fine. But I mean, it's a fucking waste of time. It hasn't been good in a long time. I haven't watched SportsCenter or ESPN for like a talk in probably 20 years. Like, no lie. I used to watch it every day religiously. Even when I would go to bed, I already watched the 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. I just fucking have that bitch on forever. I wake up randomly 3 a.m. Bam, 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 bam. I'm just, I already know exactly what happened, but boom, it's just recycling and going again. But I know I'm not the only one, but it's changed. And, sometimes things need to be, called out. And I don't even think people realize, oh, ESPN's bad, but why is it bad? And that's the reason, because they were the only ones to be able to have the highlights, and they had amazing hosts like Stuart Scott. You don't have it anymore. And I don't understand why ESPN doesn't get this. Like, just because you're ESPN doesn't mean you're going to be number one forever. Fuck, you put the best, 10 streamers on YouTube or Twitch that do sports, I guarantee you'd get better ratings than anyone that they got on the morning show or anything that they got, because you get a better connection, and that's what actually ESPN should be doing, is trying to be able to get not just like these former recycled players that have retired, or these other, guys that are just loud and they don't really know anything. They're more a personality rather than like a sports guru, but trying to be able to pluck, amazing talent that is on social media that's not signed by a big brand, And even with that being said, it wouldn't necessarily bring, ESPN back to what it was, but it would gain momentum, and other, Fox Sports 1 and other places would copy them once they saw the success. But at that point, if they already have like the top 10, sports, that are signed, then you're going to have to go through 11 through 20 for these other companies. So, but again, they probably wouldn't even sign that many. They would probably only do like one or two, do a test run and see how it would work and whatnot. But, it's you have to look ahead, and you have to be able to predict the future. And again, especially when you get these famous people on networks that are watching small channels, even like myself, and other channels that are more established than myself, where they can't come up with their own original content. They can't come up with nicknames or Uncle Momentum. So for them to feel like creative and special, they have to spy on other channels, right, and steal their content and act like it's their own content when they go on Good Morning Football. And so it shows you, like, even though you may not be famous and you're only at 20K, that doesn't mean that famous people aren't watching you. And I didn't ever think that Good Morning Football would watch me, or EA Sports would steal my catchphrases and put it in a video game. But like I said, if you are someone that has that energy and that vibe, and obviously connects with people and actually knows the game, so some people are going to be personalities, other people are going to be sport fanatics. And I think that you just have to be able to tell the difference. Are you looking at a personality on YouTube or Twitch, or is it true? Are they real and genuine? Are they not fugazi and fake? Sometimes the line is hard to read, on who's fake and who's not. Because you can definitely tell with the fake people, it's all about money. Once they get to a certain point, they can act like they have all this gratitude, but at that point, they're famous, they're rich. It's just living the high life, and it's just money, money, money. And I feel like a lot of the gratitude, and if gratitude is said, it's like fake. It's like obligated to say it just because you're making so much money. Bottom of the fifth, 1-0 Giants. Wade all the way to the track. Oh, Julio. 2-0 Giants. Julio dropped it in the outfield. Damn it. I think we're about to lose the game now. Now we got runners on the corners on first and third with one out, and we're down 2-0. Brutal. Error on Julio. That's rare. Yeah, but even getting Shannon, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to, get a huge boost. But Pat McAfee and Shannon is a good start, but you have to are you going to pair Shannon up, with a personality like his, or are you just going to get someone that's loud and annoying that doesn't know sports, and he's the wise one that keeps it real, and then you get a loudmouth idiot that is a bandwagon or biased on the other side, and I don't know. That's like fake TV to me. So I don't get reeled into the fake conversations. Oh, Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. Hey, Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. Yeah, I think I've heard that story before, and most of the time you don't even believe it. You're just a personality, so you just have to go along with the drama because people love drama, but I feel sports talk is at the very lowest it's ever been. And I really do feel you're going to get better content online than you do on the TV networks. I really feel that it's got to that point where a lot of the personalities, these, people that run sports, they're not very good, or they don't have very good voice. They don't really do the research, or they do other sports and try to come off as an expert, So it's like getting a guy like Stephen A, and then, he does basketball. Then he starts to do some like prediction, for like the Chiefs. And then he's talking about like Alex Smith, and he ain't even on the team anymore. I've seen him do that a bunch. It's like, if you're going to have someone on there, let them stay in their own lane. Don't make them try to fill the holes that you don't have for other people to talk, especially if they don't even know what the hell's going on. But I definitely think that there's going to be a wave of where kind of sports talk was, and is going. And especially if you're already on like YouTube, Twitch, not so much, that's more for gaming. But, I feel that you are going to get some really good content, compared to a lot of the networks. And I don't think the networks have figured it out yet. You know what I mean? And so if they actually did their research and they can see that, there's definitely possibilities there. And it wouldn't surprise me if you start in the next 5 years, you don't start seeing some streamers with some kind of part-time deal, or to be a part of another show or a network or multiple networks. Yeah, Ravens and the Bucks are very similar. We both went twice. We both won. But do you remember, and a lot of people aren't talking about that. They're just like, well, it's not as good. But why is it not good? Because imagine like, back then, if SportsCenter was not the only one that to have all those highlights, still it would be considered like one of the best because of who they had. And sometimes, as you get older, you start to fail to realize you're letting go of this talent that's going to other networks, thinking that you can just replace them. But some guys are not replaceable. Certain people are so unique, you're not going to replace them, Yeah, but it's not good anymore, and that's not just, being that's a hater. It's just straight facts. You compare it to other things, how it was in the past. Sometimes things need to be, spoken and said, It's not, some people, that sucks. It sucks. I hate this. But why? Some people are bandwagon and they're just hopping on. Yeah, it sucks. But they don't even know why. Bottom of the fifth, 2-0 Giants. Runners on the corners. One away. J.D. Davis in the box. Yeah, but besides like Monday Night Football, I mean, that's the only thing I'm going to watch on there, or if there's games. But if it's anything sports talk, no. You could pay me and I still wouldn't do it. Like, that's how bad it is. And then any show that actually had any type of substance, everyone is broken up now. Skip and Shannon, that's done. No Nate and Kay on Good Morning Football, garbage. Okay. You had Colin Cowherd and Joy Taylor, no more. So anything that had any type of chemistry or that was worth watching now has broken up to be a shell of its former self. And you can watch it if you want to be loyal, but it's not the same thing that brought excitement every morning when you were watching these shows or at night. Facts. But everyone's like too afraid to say it. Man, facts are facts. Some shit is good, some isn't. And there's some that's very underrated. 2-2 pitch. Got him. Nice job, Ty. 2 away. J.D. Davis, see you later. He was bringing the heater. Next up for San Francisco, catcher Patrick Beverly. Bailey. All right, let's see what Patrick Bailey can do. Hopefully nothing, because we're already down 2-0 here. Yeah, well, we have it used to be Frontier that had the FiOS internet, which is the best that you can get pretty much in the United States. So, because I used to, talk to companies on the East Coast, for it, and you're going to get the fastest, and you're going to get the symmetrical, and it's true, because sometimes, they try to have this verbiage to make you think, but a lot of times through the cable companies and the phone companies, depending on what kind of company, they can say, oh, it's symmetrical, this or that, but if you do a speed test, a lot of times, if you go to like speedtest.net, you can go and you can actually run and do a test. But at least back in the day, there was a lot of misinformation, or they made it like, oh, it's going to be this, but you would only get it, like maybe in the morning or when, not a lot of people are on. But with the Frontier now that's Ziply, yeah, it's like 300 or like a gig. And I'm going to try to probably get the fastest that they got. And like I said, it's going to give me more flexibility because I'll be able to do things in the morning as well if need be. So I got to keep myself busy. So, if that means, morning, afternoon, evening, as long as I don't burn out. So, come on, Mariners. We're going to the top of the sixth. All right, leading off for the Mariners in the top of the sixth inning, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Batting second, right fielder Teoscar Hernandez. And batting third, first baseman Mike Ford. Let's go. I put you on the thumb, man. You've been hot. You're a DH, and you got on the thumb. You must be special. Okay, let's go. MLB Network, I think, is good. Some NFL Network programming is good. It's better than ESPN and any other. But some of it is like, it's like okay, like I don't have to watch it. And some of it is pretty good there. I mean, and I feel that NHL Network does a good job. MLB does a good job. I don't really watch the NBA, network and whatnot with the NBA channel, but I just feel like you can have shows, you can have games, but when it comes to like sports talk on a network, I mean, it's just, anything that used to work 5-10 years ago, it's like things are changing. But again, if you are entertained by someone that's loud and screams and is wrong all the time, and it's just like fake takes, I guess that does it for some people. But after a while, when it's fake, it's like, I don't know. I don't know if I can get into that, Don't know if I can do it. All right, top of the 6, 2-0. Julio, baby. Doubles on a fly ball to center fielder, Luis Matos. My boy. There we go, Julio. It's my guy. Let's go, baby. Julio's on second. Come on, Teo. 0-2 count. Fouled off. Count still stays 0-2. Come on, baby. Come on, Teoscar. Strikes out swinging, one away. Come on, Teo. Damn it. Next up, first baseman, Mike Ford. Ball in the dirt on a knuckle curve. Come on, Mike. Yeah, when Scherzer is healthy, he's amazing, but it just seems like he gets hurt quite a bit. Maybe not as much as like a DeGrom and whatnot, but it's like, you know, these guys have amazing talent, but can they just stay healthy, though? Top of the 6, 2-0 Giants. I mean, it's like we don't need a whole lot of run support. Like, we might be able to win this game by getting 3 or 4 runs. That's it. So we just have to have a chance here. No, a balk. Julio goes to third with the balk. I'll take that. Let's go. Let's get our first fucking run. Come on, baby. Sinker for a strike, 1-1 count. Come on, baby. We need some runs. Got the Astros coming up. Need this. Pitch close to the zone. Inside for a ball, 2-1 count. Have you been watching AEW Dynamite? Mike Ford grounds out Alex Cobb to first baseman Lamont Wade Jr. Damn it. 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, DHing for Seattle, Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, Gino. Come on, baby. We just need something. I don't want to lose 2-0. Ooh, pitch real inside. Sinker got away from him. 1-0 count. Come on, baby. And I got a couple of those photos there. I had that first one for you. Darius Leonard, a.k.a. Shaq Leonard. See if I can get a couple more at some point, and hopefully we'll get some more goats coming in here. Ball in the dirt there with the sinker. 2-0 count. Come on, Gino. Ooh. Slider for a strike. 2-1 count. Come on, Gino. 225 average for Eugenio Suarez. Could be much better. Grounds out to third. J.D. Davis to first baseman. Lamont Wade Jr. Brutal. All right, we're going to go to the bottom of the sixth. Doesn't feel like we got enough juice in this game. Like maybe maybe we're run dry. We're already on a nice little win streak. Anytime you win like 4 or 5 in a row, at some point, you just run out of steam. I mean, I'm not sure if necessarily we have. I mean, it's not over, but I don't know. It doesn't really feel like we got it, but at least we have a couple more chances to at least get to 2 and then see what happens if they don't score anymore. But that might be a tough test. All right, next up for the Giants in the bottom of the 6th inning, right fielder Michael Conforto. Batting second, center fielder Luis Matos. And batting third, second baseman Casey Schmidt. Oh, baby. All right, we got to get Conforto. Come on, baby. I wonder how long they're going to go with Ty. But as long as he pitches well, I mean, keep it moving. All right, finally. God, commercials fucking take forever. Fouled off on a 4-seam fastball. 0-1 count. Swung foul with the slider. 0-2 count. Come on, baby. Let's go, Ty. Oh, 2 pitch. 4-seamer really high. 1-2 count. Come on, baby. I mean, I'm just glad we're not down 4 or 5. 1 or 2, you feel pretty good. Like even if you've been playing shitty or you haven't been able to get too many hits. Conforto strikes out swinging. 1 away. Yes. There we go. Sometimes you got to just find ways just to, get a little bit of production. And maybe we won't be able to get big hits, like hit after hit after hit. Maybe it'll have to be just a solo shot to get us going, something like that. Next up, center fielder Luis Matos. All right, here we go. Swing and a miss. Got him. Yeah, that's why we need the mods and the goats, so that way we can, some people, just watch, so we have some people that are in the United States or in Japan or other locations, Canada and whatnot. Some people, are part of kind of the Fanatic family. Others are just kind of watchers. And maybe, at some point we'll get some of those people that are looky-loos to sub or, comment or like or possibly donate at one point or another. That's why it's a grind. It's a hustle. You know what I mean? Sometimes we can't, what we were able to have in 2022 with a lot of those people that were in the room. I mean, the conversations were always going to be, popping no matter what. It didn't matter, what we did. I drink beer, we talk football or NFL. It didn't matter if it was a game or not. But again, it's all about having the right people in the room at the right time and getting some of the OGs, back in the building. A lot of people are working and they got other things that they're doing, other streams to watch, other friends to see, other shit to do. So we'll definitely get some of those people during football, but I mean, this is kind of summertime, so I mean, it's always like I hope we get some of those OGs to kind of come through, but you just have to remember, not some people know that even if we do a baseball game, we don't have to talk about that the whole time. We can always talk NFL and current events or wrestling or whatever, but I guess it just it's a matter of you just want to be able to show some love and come through. Bottom of the sixth, 2-0 Giants. One out, 0-2 count. Foul. Oh, 2 pitch. Popped up. Get a tail. He dove for it, and he did not get it. That's going to be a triple. Easy triple. Wow. Nice triple by Matos. Teoscar tried to slide and get it, didn't, and paid the price for it. Next up for the Giants, second baseman, Casey Schmidt. Pitches inside, 1-0 count. And one of my lights actually broke. I don't know. I just feel like, a lot of bad shit happens to a lot of good people and bad shit happens to bad people, but it's just kind of, how you react to everything. Oh, nice line drive. Like I could be super pissed that one of these lights is out because it could prevent me from being able to have enough light to do the stream and whatnot. But, you just got to be able to, take the lumps, take the L, get up, and, hopefully things get better. Nice catch by Jose. And that's why, if you're my lead, you got to lead by example. Even if it ends up being a little slow or some people aren't, as talkative, we got to keep things, you have to be able to engage instead of just like give up and, go run some errands and shit. You know what I mean? I get it. We get to a point where sometimes we're grinding, and of course, everyone would love to be able to have more conversations, but I guess it just depends on the streams and, who's watching from here in the US and who's not. And some people, aren't very talkative. Some people are going to be in the chat all the time, and some are just going to watch. So Sarah's like, I'm going to go eat some chips, make some hot dogs and burgers. I'll be back in about 30. Big swing and a miss. 1-2 count. I mean, shit, the frustration that you feel with stuff. I mean, you have to think like, imagine you being in my shoes. You probably know more than any other person, because I usually haven't had too many people, be a part of the team aspect. I mean, you start off by yourself, but you can't do anything by yourself. And once you learn that and you start actually having people as part of the team, that's where things, are more positive and you can see better results, mentally and obviously getting the proper people is tough. Not every stream is going to be peaches and cream. So 1-2 pitch to Crawford. Brandon pops it up. All right, we stranded that runner at third. End of the sixth inning. Let's go to the top of the seventh. Dizzy in the building. What's good? All right, we're going to the top of the seventh. All right, leading off for the Mariners in the top of the seventh inning, left fielder Jarred Kelenic. Batting second, if there's no changes made, big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh. And batting third, if there's no changes, which they may, third baseman Jose Caballero. Usually once we start getting into the seventh, eighth, and ninth inning, there's going to be some swaps, usually, especially if we haven't been able to get any production. So we'll see where it goes. But hopefully we can manufacture a couple hits and get back into this game. I mean, we're only down 2-0. So that's, when you have a guy that's on his second start ever in Tommy Milone when he was pitching for Tacoma Rainiers. So it's like, it's the Rainiers, you don't really know what you're going to get. You could be doing pretty good in AAA, but obviously pitching on the big boys, on a fucking Wednesday night, second start, you don't really know what you're going to get. So he didn't really do too bad. I mean, we're only down 1 or 2 runs. So yeah, well, that guy, he normally does, the other races like F1 or whatnot. So like that was, something huge, that you normally don't see that. But that Chicago race was very cool. Like definitely, like if I was rich, I would have definitely went to that. A lot of wrecks, right? A lot of wrecks. And, a lot of guys, not having anywhere to go, but, and the weather didn't really cooperate, but I loved it, man. Like anytime I see something that's brand new for the first time, I'm definitely going to watch it and embrace it and soak that in. And if the weather cooperated better, where we could have got the Xfinity race and the fans got their money's worth, instead of just giving Cole Custer the win after like 25 laps, that would have been very, very cool. But I'm jealous. That's awesome, man. Yeah. And I don't know. Like I said, you got that, right, with the rookie, right? You got Daniel Suarez there. He won his first race after 6-7 years last year. And now you see Ross Chastain. He's kind of the new big thing. So he's going to be up there with Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, and Kyle Larson as like the top 5. So Trackhouse is a small team, but they pack a punch. They're very fun. Like honestly, like my 2 favorite right now are like Chase Elliott and like Ross Chastain. I think I like watching Ross even more than like Kyle Busch or Joey Logano. I like Kyle Larson a lot as well, but I don't know. I like heels, and he kind of reminds me of a poor man's Dale Earnhardt. He's going to talk shit, be a little reckless, but he can back it up though. All right, come on, baby. Top of the 7th, 2-0 Giants. Let's get it. Yeah. I watch everything, man. Now I'm fucking crazy. Like, we have this one guy in here, Mike, and anyone that, is at 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years old, because it kind of goes that range here where we're getting like, 17 to like 90 is the range. And, someone that has so much passion for NASCAR and watches the trucks and the fucking Xfinity, like I'll watch like the Cup stuff, but if I find that someone loves it that much, then it kind of rubs off on me. And then I'm like, all right, let me fucking watch. I actually enjoy watching the trucks and Xfinity die. I try watching as much as I can, but usually I can't watch all 3. So come on, Jared, let's go, baby. Yeah, but it was cool the setup there for the street race for sure. And maybe the weather will cooperate next year. Got him on the edge. Jarred Kelenic has been getting struck out looking lately, and he has not been handling it well. Broken bats, swearing. He just wants to get back into his groove. He was our MVP for the first 50 games for our Seattle season here in 2023, and we haven't been good whatsoever. We've just been average. That's why we're 500. And the last 15 or 20 games, he's been in a rut a little bit, and his emotions are running so high. It's kind of, not helping him out. Popped up by Cal Raleigh. 2 away. Come on, Cal. Next up, third baseman today for Gino, Jose Caballero, who can hit but can't defend. And then we got a guy like Colton Wong that can defend, but he can't hit. So put these two guys together, and maybe we got a guy, but I guess that's what we have to deal with. Caballero pops up to second baseman Casey Schmidt. What's new? What's new? Brutal. All right, take it easy, bro. What's good? What's good? Well, Malone didn't do too bad. Did you get to watch the beginning? Did you get to watch the beginning of the game? So for me, like if Malone is coming from the Rainiers, Tacoma, AAA, only 2 starts, I'm thinking, if he gives up 3, 4, 5 homers, before they pull him, so be it. You know what I mean? But I was hoping like maybe some cheap pop-ups. Like I don't expect it Ks at all, but just like give me some grounders and pop-ups, and just hopefully the defense can make some plays where we don't get beat really bad after he goes out. And I was thinking maybe it'll be 4-0, 5-0, 2-0. Like all we need to do is just like have a productive inning. We can tie it, go to extras, and see what can happen. So, AEW, yeah, Dynamite. How is it? I mean, I watch it every Wednesday, but I live on the West Coast, so I got to wait for the West Coast taping to come on. So nice. I watch. I'm a big AEW guy too. Like I actually prefer AEW over WWE. Like if I'm watching the regular programs and whatnot, but I'll still put my time into Raw and SmackDown. I try to do NXT, but it's kind of hard to buy into the characters and what they got going there. When it was like the black and yellow brand and you had like Adam Cole, Bebe, and Undisputed Era, that shit was good, right? But it's not the same anymore to me, even though I think Shawn Michaels is doing a good job there, but it's still not, it's not where it needs to be. And, Dynamite normally is pretty good, but sometimes Rampage and Collision are ass. So, yeah. So I'm going to end up watching it here after this. And hopefully we can end up getting a dub here somehow. All right, leading off for the Giants, left fielder Austin Slater. Batting second, DHing, unless they have, now they're changing to Yastrzemski. Oh, they made a change. I figured they would. There it is. I was like, am I going to have to use him today? I was like, there's a good chance. There's a good chance. I said, Slater, you can't get hits. We're going to get someone better. Center fielder Mike Yastrzemski pitch hitting. You're an hour ahead. Oh, okay. Nice. I love when they go to Canada. Best fans in wrestling. And I'm here in the United States, and I'm not afraid to say that. I mean, when you actually watch events when they go there, whenever they go there, in any city they go there, the passion is there. I'm jealous of it. I wish that we had more cities that were like that. And then it's like when they go to Europe or certain locations, like the Puerto Rico crowd is good. I feel like pretty much anywhere that they go, there's just, I don't know, maybe American fans just take the wrestlers for granted because we get so easy access. And so like going to, a Raw or SmackDown, no one gives a shit anymore, or maybe going to a Dynamite's a little bit more popping or whatever, but pay-per-views are still popping for regardless of brand. But maybe the fans kind of, take it for granted and whatnot. Because especially when they go there, I mean, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, wherever they're going, I mean, it's just crazy electric. And it's not just that with like the screaming and the wooing, right? It's the chanting and the singing. Like, when a crowd is good, when they're singing and chanting together, that's when you can tell it takes that event to another level. So they're my favorite. I mean, the only time that the American crowds match up, if it's like CM Punk in Chicago, where he's from, or like a New York crowd, like an ECW crowd, something like that. But there's not very many places that are going to bring the heat. They just don't have the appreciation, man. But even if they did, I don't think they would be as passionate. I think the passion it lies with the people that live there. It's a part of who they are. Brian Danielson is Seattle. Yes, he is. Darby Allen. So we got some people out here in the Pacific Northwest. It's very cool. You know. Pitches outside. 1-1 count. Whose house? Swerve's house. Yep. Yeah, Seattle. Or no, he's Tacoma. Tacoma. See, your boy knows. I'm a wrestling head. You know what I mean? Like I said it at first. I was like, oh no, not Seattle. Tacoma, I believe. Yeah. Besides football, wrestling is a part of who I am, and I'll never stop watching. Flores with a little bloop single to Teoscar. He's like, I'm distracting this guy talking wrestling. It happens, man. We sometimes will go through wrestling photos, like past and present, and we'll get distracted for like an hour. Because you can just go from different eras: 80s, 90s, DX, NWO, fucking Undertaker, Legion of Doom, Ric Flair, Demolition, RVD, Sabu, Just Incredible, Masato Tanaka, Tajiri, Lance Storm, Jerry Lynn. I don't need to keep going. I can drop them names for days. Filet mignon to the fucking Mariners right there. Now another single. Runners on first and second. All right, now we need to get focus here. Brian Danielson, Swerve's house, Darby Allen, Mariners. We're getting distracted. We need to focus. Your boy. And I got my boy Preston is the same way because we kind of grew up in the sports card era, and so we have so many names, and I guess it just depends if you have that memory, of all the different players that played in those older eras. But he can name drop for quite a while too. I guess it just depends on if we're doing wrestling or if we're doing like basketball, baseball, football, hockey. The good old days, 80s and 90s. Wrestling will never be as good as that in those two eras. All right, JD Davis up. 283 average, 10 homers, 45 ribbies. Come on, baby. Yeah, little Guido. Absolutely. Dude, my ECW knowledge is up there too. Like lots of, Rhino and Tajiri, Masato Tanaka, Mike Awesome. Shane Douglas, the franchise, Francine. I was the one that actually introduced ECW, EC Dub to all my friends here in Oregon. They didn't even know what it was. And I was like, as soon as we watched it and shit, then we ended up doing like a backyard wrestling fucking thing. And we, jumped off roofs and trampolines, injured ourselves. And it was crazy, man. Seeing RVD and Sabu for the very first time, my mind was blown. I was like, why am I watching as much WCW and WWF when I could be watching this? It might be like lower brand, like less money, but the fucking wrestling was just insanity. New Jack, Mustafa, Terry Funk. He said, it's Sting. Crazy that he's still jumping off, the high ropes and on the turnbuckles out to the outside in the tables. Guy's like 64, 65, and obviously he's not going to be showing his chest because he's old, going to wear a shirt over it. But still, to be out there doing it, he loves it. Got him. Here we go. 2 away. Yeah. I was born in 82. So even though I look pretty young, like I went through everything, the birth of video games, the birth of the internet, and like I said, I think that's why I have such a not biased perspective, because I was able to see things that a lot of people maybe didn't get a chance to see, and how life was before the internet and, the birth Atari 2600, Nintendo, Sega, Super Nintendo, 64, PlayStation, and then to go where we're at now, 85 for you. Well, yeah, you're only 3 years different than me then. Yeah, and like Preston and Justin, two of my closest buddies, I think are a couple years younger too. Like I think Justin is, I think 2 years, and I think Preston is 3 or 4 years. But still, if we would have went to high school, like I would have been a senior, and then maybe one of them is like a freshman. Still, you're still in that same 4 to 5 year window where you remember everything. But if you're like 1 or 2 or 3 years apart, you really remember everything. Like the Kudos and the fucking Squeeze It and Garbage Pail Kids and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and how big that shit was, and G.I. Joe and Transformers and X-Men and Batman, and you feel me. You either know or you don't. Oh, threw it behind Bailey. Oh. Yeah, so that's why I know when anyone is born like 1980 to 85, somewhere in there, we're probably going to connect, like really heavy, because a lot of the things you're going to like, oh shit, like I remember that. Like you might be living in Canada, or someone like Sarah might be in the Midwest, but certain brands, they're not existent anymore. And if you had that, you like totally remember, or you had a friend that maybe had one of those things, and you're like, oh shit, like I can still remember playing GoldenEye and how dope that was, and WrestleMania 2000 and WCW NWO and all the old school games too. Like I think the Nintendo era was pretty special. Sega era too. And that's why this channel is special too, because you got a wide range. Like I said, we had people as young as like 10 or 12, but normally now it's like 17, 18, all the way up to about, I think our oldest regular watcher is like 90. So, you can get that good age range. Half the channel under 40, half the channel over 40. So, and it used to be all, on one side. So it's kind of nice to have a good blend. Pitching change. Taylor Saucedo replaces Justin Topa. I don't know what I feel about Saucedo. Like sometimes he's good, sometimes he's ass. Like it's like, I don't know, maybe certain guys that are average or above average, they need more time to like warm up. And it seems like if they don't get into a groove, then those are the ones that give up all those big runs. Roddy Piper, old school. And definitely you can tell by name dropping, you can tell like what era people are in too. Like if that is something that you remember, or if it's like over your head and you're like, like, oh, I don't recognize that name. Go to the bottom of the 7th. Except for the Giants. 0 for 3 with a K. Michael Conforto. Bases juice. This is bad. We're about to give up a shitload. Like, probably going to end up being 3, 4, 5 runs here. Unless we can get out of this. I hope we can. This would be really cool if we could just get out of this 2-0. Then we still have a chance to get 1 or 2. But if we give up anything here, I think the game is essentially over, just based off momentum. We haven't been able to prove that we can manufacture hits in a row. So I think this is a real critical part of the game. We give up 1 or more, the game is over. If we can hold it and then go into the top of the 8th and have 2 chances to get 2 runs, I think we'll have a shot. It's not a good shot, but better than having to get 3, because we don't have it. Right there. Yes, we have a chance. I mean, that was it right there. You got to hang on there, and they did. Nice. Okay. That's some good shit right there. Next up for the Mariners in the top of the 8th, 0 for 2, second baseman Kolten Wong. With a photo this dope, you owe me a hit. I mean, seriously, with the stunner shades, looking kind of like Ichiro. Come on, man. I changed the photo for you. You got to get something today. Either get hit by a pitch, get a walk, or just some kind of cheap ass single. I don't care how you get on base, do it. He looks too so fresh and so clean. Okay, come on. Batting second, shortstop J.P. Crawford, and he's been kind of on the up and up. His batting average has been going up and up, and he's been kind of in his zone. And batting third, center fielder Julio Rodriguez, my boy, ballin'. Yeah, can you tell I like Julio just a little bit? Let's go. Let's go. This is it. And we got the Astros. So this is a critical part of where we're at. So I mean, he's the type of guy that is kind of like our Mike Ford, but if we were able to put Mike Ford at like first, and depending on France's health and whatnot, but just being able to have a bat, for a DH or whatever. Is that who you're talking about? Nelson Cruz? I assume that's who you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, I don't really think we're necessarily a playoff team. We're a fringe wild card, but then we just have to, Angels got hurt with some of their guys, Shohei and Mike Trout. Mike Trout a little bit more serious and longer. But are we going to be able to catch the Astros and the Rangers? Probably not. You know what I mean? Like Rangers are going to get first. Astros, we could get close, but I don't know if we're not the same team as last year. Unless we get on like a 10 or 12 game win streak in the second half of the playoffs, then yes, I think we'll be able to get there and maybe battle the Astros for that last spot. But nothing has suggested up to this point that we're ready for that challenge. We haven't beat the shit out of the Angels. We haven't gone on a 12 to 14 game win streak. Our pitching has been fair at best. Hitting has been astronomically bad. We're batting like 230, 235 as a team. Absolute shit. Right? Have I broken that down enough? I'm just speaking for, the Mariners fan base, truthfully. Popped up, went away. Shit. Could you imagine? I don't know. Nothing has suggested that we could do that, but I mean that would be cool. Or we don't make the playoffs this year and we get Ohtani, then we wouldn't give a shit about anything for the rest of our lives, right? Ohtani comes to Seattle, and as long as we can kind of figure shit out, that would probably give us the best shot to win the World Series. You bring in a player like that. But the likelihood of something like that happening, pretty slim to none. But, as a Mariner fan, we can always dream. We do have a good Japanese following. Oh, a little bloop single. Yes. My guy JP Crawford, he's starting to get on a little bit of a heater. He's getting a little bit hot. He's starting to get electric, baby. Now we just need that on the defensive side too. My boy, JP Electricity. JP Electricity. Yes, sir. Electric, my boy. Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah, I've had incredible luck, with just like my favorite teams and having memories and special things happen. Like, shit, I've only gone to like 7 or 8 games total, and I've already gotten 3 baseballs. So that's a very high percentage. I'm no fucking Zach Campbell. I've never had to knock over any person or kid to get any of the balls that I've gotten, but off Julio. But yeah, meeting Griffey and then meeting my hero between my dad and Griffey, and then meeting my dad's hero in Koufax when I was 10. I mean, the best pitcher as a lefty, the best hitter as a lefty. I don't think it gets any better than that. What kind of throw was that? Yeah, but last year was like insane for me to get like a Julio ball and an Aaron Judge ball in the same year. Like that's like literally like one in a fucking like 100 billion. Like to have like one of those things happen, let alone both. But I don't know. My ESP is weird sometimes. Like sometimes I'll say something and then the opportunity will present itself, and then I just have to act. Like if the foul ball is actually going to come in my area, then get it. But easier said than done. But last year was special though, with the Julio Rookie of the Year, and I got to see Bobby Witt Jr. and I got to see him that's when I got that Julio ball against the Royals early in the season, before Julio mania took over, and then the Yankees a few weeks after that, and then obviously seeing that 62 home run season, and he actually went yard in Seattle to see it firsthand and hear the crack of the bat. Like when you hear Ohtani crack of the bat or like Judge, it's like a Griffey crack or like a Bonds McGuire crack or Sosa when they were on roids. Like it's insanely loud, like more than you think than you hear it on TV. It's one thing, but in person, if you're close enough, you're like, whoa, it's something. The Oscar, right to the warning track. Damn it. Padres W. Nice. 3 in a row. Nice job, bro. Yeah. Well, Griffey is one of those people that, he's the only one really to not cheat, right? So, like, had 10 great years, 10 injured years, got fat, came back to the Mariners, retired, and so if you have that type of legacy, imagine if Griffey would have had 15, good years and 5 injured years. He would have gotten 750, 60. Now imagine if Griffey would have roided. Griffey probably would have hit 800 to 900 home runs, because he would have been doing 50 to 60 every year. And then one year, probably 80, 75, like if he was roiding just with that pure swing. So I'm just happy that, for someone that I met, when I was in first grade, knowing that that would be my hero besides my dad, and to have him have that career. The injuries sucked. Having him go to the Reds, knowing that that was his dad's team, that kind of sucked being a Mariner fan. And then him into the White Sox, and then coming back to Seattle was cool. But yeah, I mean, Griffey transcends sports though, because he made baseball cool, hat backwards, but he made baseball cool. He's the first baseball player to ever have a shoe. The shoe is still fire to this day. He transcends. He's like bigger than any other name in the 80s or 90s, or, it's like you had names like Jeter that are very popular and big, but I think the impact of Griffey globally, even as great as, what Jeter, did in his time, it's like I would even put Griffey above that. And that's saying something, because I have the utmost respect for Jeter. Jeter to me is one of my favorites of all time. Like if you couldn't appreciate Jeter, even though that was the rival to the Mariners, like you just knew you were watching like something really special, and you're probably not going to ever see it again. Like certain people that play certain positions, like you just know Randy Johnson ain't coming back. Griffey ain't coming back. Ichiro, you ain't seeing that ever again. It's like Shohei Ohtani, like the you're seeing the Aaron Judge Asian. It's like it's fucking crazy, man. Fuck yeah, man. Everyone get fat, eating the hamburgers, the hot dogs, the fried chicken, right? All the good food. Come back, get fat, come to Seattle, and we'll love the hell out of you. All right. Well, we're bottom of the 8th, 2-0 Giants. It's still there. And imagine if Ichiro would have come in before, all those years. He already won 6, 7 batting titles on the Oryx Blue Wave in Japan. So if he would have been here when he started, he would have beaten Pete Rose and everyone. He would have been the number one, hit king overall, all time. He was that good. Like I got stuff like these old postcard baseball cards of Ichiro from like the Oryx Blue Wave. I got some Japanese merch. And even back then, he was insane. And that's why people doubted. He's like, he plays in Japan with a bunch of Japanese pitchers. Who cares if he's hitting 300, 400? He can't do it in Major League Baseball. Then he came in right away, Rookie of the Year. And then I think it was like 2004. I think it was like his 3rd year or 4th year. And he was like a monster. That was when he was just like breaking everything. He's like, oh, typical Ichiro day, 4 for 5, 5 for 5, 4 for 5, 3 for 5, 5 for 6, 6 for 6, 3 for 5, 2 for 5, 4 for 5, 5 for 6. Like those were his numbers. I had never seen shit like that before. A motherfucker going 5 for 5. What? And then the next day doing like 4 for 5. I'm like, this is not real, but he was that good of a contact hitter. Repetition, pulling that sleeve up every time, doing the bat, right? And doing it every time, that repetition. It's like shooting free throws. He was the ultimate free throw shooter as a singles leadoff hitter. And it was all about repetition, doing the same shit over and over and over and over and over and over. And then being a beast at it. That's what the greats do. Bottom of the 8th, 2-0 Giants. Got him. My job, Festa. We've been making moves. Remember with the pitching change where we got rid of a few guys, right? Flexing, moving pieces. So I think they're trying to kind of reconfigure the lineup, and bringing guys. But obviously, if you didn't hear about it, as of yesterday, the day before, then most of the time it's going to be earlier in that morning. I'm pretty sure it was very, very recent. So because we've been making moves just in the last couple days. So, and a lot of times if you follow something Mariners, it may not even be exactly Seattle Mariners on Twitter, but then there's other like sub-Mariner coverage, and then they'll post, like all the moves, single A, double A, who got, put down, who got called up. But it doesn't really come up in the regular Twitter thread typically with just Seattle. So, I mean, as long as Flexen's gone, I think we're better because that was a piece that we would have no need for at any point in the season because there's just no improvement. Just giving up homers and doing it consistently and being consistently bad. I mean, we're already bad in average. We don't need bad. Got him. Casey Schmidt. See you later. He said reincarnate Norm Charlton. Jamie Moyer. Moyer's old. He could still do it, though. You can go back in the old school days and just think about the old school players, or Chris Bossio, Alvin Davis, the Harold Reynolds, Dave Valley. Oh, shit. Pop deep all the way to the warning track. God damn it. Teoscar throws it in. Cutoff man. Wong. Stand-up double for Brandon Crawford. Damn it. All the momentum has been with San Francisco this whole game. Cool photo. I said Arthur Rhodes. Sasaki. Kaz. See, that's when when you're really fucking with like a real Mariner fan, not just a bandwagon fan from Julio from just last year. Like, Mariner fans are fucking really passionate and got one of the best fan bases. Shit, we've only had 4 good years in like 30. What the fuck we got to celebrate? 95 slide with Griffey and Edgar, right? Get him. Got him good, right? 97, AO, obviously MVP for, Griffey. 2001, where we won 100+ billion games, but unfortunately lost to the Yankees. And then last year with Julio and George Kirby, 2022, Cal Raleigh, So it's like, I think that if we can be as passionate as we are for having 4 good years, essentially out of 30, I mean, nothing can phase us. Nothing, no type of shit talk, no type of whatever, nothing phases a fan that is hardcore that's gone through that kind of, scenario and that type of longevity of not typically being good. But we broke the streak, from not being in the playoffs for 20+ years. So we have a chance. I mean, it's not looking too good, though. I mean, for people that actually follow the team and know this team, we are a team of momentum, and a lot of times we can't manufacture stuff late. We have to do it early, and then hopefully, feel that we're close. And then if we need something like 1, maybe we can do it. But if it's like 0 the whole game and then the pressure is on, it's the 8th or 9th inning, maybe some of them have checked out and it's like, what's for dinner, instead of trying to win the game. And I don't know. It's going to be tough for us, but it's possible though, but it'll be tough. Hi, Paisley. Dad's almost done. Yeah. Oh, baby. Next up, Mike Ford. It's been our hot hitter. Hell, I decided to put him on the thumb for the very first time. Normally, you don't put a DH on a thumb. I mean, unless we're talking about Edgar Martinez, then yeah, that would have been on a weekly basis. Come on, baby. Let's go, Mike. On UPN. That's awesome. Yeah. But as soon as that happened, bro, as soon as something like this happens to your life and you recognize that this is one of the most special days of your life, at 7 years old, I had the recognition knowing that this is one of the greatest days of my life. At 7, I'm 41, and there's a reason why I still have what I have. Kids are like, hey, I'll trade you a Bo Jackson and all this other shit. I'm like, that is, I mean, I've had a Jordan rookie before, PSA 9, $20,000, $30,000 card. This has nowhere near the value, but sometimes it's that sentimental, right? It's like you having those memories and that he actually took the time to sign it with, Ken Griffey Jr., make it legible. Like really took his time, like was really cool about it. And you could tell that he was raised the right way. His dad was there too, but he never did the scribbling. Like Griffey's signature, even to this day, is like one of the prettiest. And I've gone through hundreds of Griffey signatures, like just to compare mine with others, and since mine was in the actual rookie year, I haven't seen too many that are better than that one. And obviously everyone knew the Upper Deck card, the 89. That was like the catalyst of cards at the time because that was the very first year of Upper Deck, and I was 7. So top of the ninth, 2-0 Giants. Come on, Mike Ford. Yeah, true Mariner fans, I mean, like, don't really have a lot of those memories. But again, if I had a chance to meet like Clyde Drexler or Gary Payton or Griffey, like if I had a choice, it would have been, Griffey in a heartbeat and stuff. And I already liked football and basketball and wrestling already. So just the fact that happened, meeting Griffey and Koufax at 7 and 10, getting the autograph and having the photo and having the memory, very special. And then as you get older, you start to have more of an appreciation for baseball, maybe than when you were a kid in the card era, and you come back to it when you're like in your 30s or 40s, and then it becomes one of your favorite sports to actually go to and watch and enjoy. It's crazy how that worked out that way, because I already had that love for basketball. So meeting Clyde Drexler would have been special, but I already, had that love. But with Griffey, it was incredible. Seems like it was yesterday, no lie. Yeah, and his dad was very, very cool too. Like you can tell, lots of love in that family with Griffey's, and I like the father son bond. It's cool. Chop foul. Absolutely. And one thing that, if other people want to talk shit, be like, oh, Mariners have never won a World Series or gotten there. Yeah, that's fine. But we've had some of the most like elite, like legends of all time. Like you're not going to be able to replace what Griffey ever. Like, sorry, not going to happen. Right? Randy Johnson, never going to happen. Edgar Martinez, never going to happen. Ichiro, never going to happen. And then maybe we can add Julio as number 5 to the list if he can keep it up for a solid career and stop swinging at the first, 2 pitches and actually work the count. Julio can be a Hall of Famer instead of just an all-star. If you want to be Hall of Famer, you got to be able to be well-rounded, stealing bags, defending, stealing home runs, but trying to be over 300, and hopefully we can get more 30, 40, 50 home run seasons out of him. But I think it's possible. So, so anyone that, like I said, Mariner fans can't be phased, real ones. We've already gone through so much pain and misery, so we know when we're good and we know when we're not. You don't have like these crazy Mariner fans that think that we're better than we are. Well, maybe we do, some of them, but I mean, you get humbled real quick, especially when your team's not that good. So. 1-1 count. Yeah. And E-House, the passion. My, oh my. Like, there's this certain culture out here with the Pacific Northwest and the passion we got. Line drive, 2 away. Damn, we might get shut out. Doesn't look good here. All right, last at bat. Probably nothing going to happen here, but Jarred Kelenic, come on, baby. Swing and a miss. Takes a strike. Oh, and King Felix, absolutely. Legend, man. I mean, and a lot of like the mid card guys that we have are fucking legends too. Like they are really well liked and admired. Like you talk about John Olerud, played for the Blue Jays, but the Mariners, like people love that guy. Tino Martinez, people love that guy. Jay Buhner, Bones, people love that guy. Like we don't really have a bunch of like asshole people. The only negative person that's ever a part of our association is Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod. But we don't accept him in like the Legends crew. You're a traitor. You have nothing. Seattle. You came up and then you left, and it is what it is. But that's the only one that I don't recognize. I mean, I know he's a great player, but then he cheated. So I mean, I'd rather him cheat not for the Mariners because that would have hurt our organization. Him staying with us for his whole career and then finding out he's fucking ripping roids and Balco and doing all this crazy shit, that would have tarnished our legacy and obviously himself too. So yeah. Machado is nice. Pitches outside, 1-2 count. Yeah. Well, they kind of fleeced us with Robbie Ray and Teoscar. Teoscar was good, but took him like 17 at bats to get his first shit going, so I was worried. And Ray, Ray will never be a Cy Young ever again, I don't think. If he is, God bless him. But I just don't know if he'll ever catch up to Castillo, Miller, or Kirby. I don't think he will. The best case scenario for him is before. And so be ahead of Marco or whoever is 5. Woo. Chopper foul. 2-2 count. Oh, all the bandwagons. Come on, Jarred. I mean, I know this is pretty much over, but 2-2 pitch. Dribbler towards first foul. Thank God. Cal Raleigh's up next, but we're not going to get to Cal Raleigh. And it's over. But then I got to be able to see it here on the footage. 2-2 pitch. Kelenic. Swing and got him. Final score 2-0. We suck. Congratulations to the Giants. Well, at least we won the series. Hard to sweep a team, no matter how good or bad they are. And they had a above 500 record. The Giants were actually doing pretty well, in their division. And we got the Astros, so this is going to be really tough. Hopefully, we can win 1 out of 3, and then we go into the All-Star break. If we win 2 out of 3, that is a huge, huge accomplishment. But there is a good chance that we could get swept as well. So we have to keep that in consideration too. But hopefully, we can be somewhat close to 500 as we're going into the All-Star break. But more than likely, we're going to be a game or two below the way that it's looking. So. Yeah. Oh, man, that's rough. All right, man, take it easy. All right, so at this point, all right. Yeah, so at this point, like I said, I'll probably end up just calling it. I would normally go for like another 30 minutes or so if we had the right people in the room to be able to go through like photos and whatnot. But usually, we have a certain clique that does that. But again, hopefully you feel better, and hopefully we can get back on track. And I appreciate everyone that ended up watching the stream, sharing it, donating. Appreciate you. And we'll be back tomorrow, and we're going to be going through the Astro series. So we'll be doing that. So tomorrow's game time, I believe, is a little earlier. It is going to be 5:10. So I'll be live at 5 Pacific time against the Astros. And it's Kirby versus Undecided. And Kirby's going to the All-Star game, so we'll end up doing that. And hopefully we end up getting a pretty good turnout there. So I appreciate everybody in the room. Sarah, you get better. Appreciate everyone. Love you and appreciate you. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.